With the WWE World Championship match once again postponed, an intriguing main event is made to determine the new #1 contender for the WWE World Championship. All this, plus who is also the #1 contender for the SmackDown Tag Team titles? We're going to cover all this and more on this week's edition of the Smackdown ReBound. Hello everybody, my name is Connor, aka OKayFabe, your official OneWrestling.com video correspondent for SmackDown Live, and welcome back to another edition of the Smackdown ReBound, where we cover everything and anything pertaining to the blue brand, SmackDown Live. Of course, we're doing this right here on OneWrestling.com and the One Wrestling Video YouTube channel, so thank you guys for tuning in and listening wherever you guys are listening and or tuning into this from. That makes sense, right? That last statement's good? Good? Perfect? Pro? Kudos. Awesome. Fantastic. Guys and gals, if you guys are here once again new to the OneWrestling.com YouTube channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's right down there below, as well as hit that like button and let us know you guys love everything that is the SmackDown ReBound. Of course, everything here at the One Wrestling Video YouTube channel. We've got the app chat, we got Raw reviews, we've got Big Slam Nation, we've got all sorts of amazing content right here for you guys. We just did a interview with Eddie Edwards. Big Ray just did one over with TNA World Champion Eddie Edwards. We had Bill Apter talking with Harley Race not too long ago, and of course we had Lisa the Poet doing our awesome, amazing Raw review. All that, Big Slam Nation, and so much else. So make sure you subscribe to the One Wrestling Video YouTube channel. Now, of course, guys, before I even get into the thoughts and the review of SmackDown here, I always encourage you guys to let us know what you guys thought of this week's SmackDown by leaving your thoughts down in the comment section here below. Again, hit us up on the various social media, including Twitter and Facebook. Of course, you can follow me on Twitter at OKayFabeRWP. That's OKayFabeRWP. And also check out the Random Wrestling Podcast on iTunes and other various social media. All the links for those are down there below, including for Big Ray, the Big Slam Nation, and of course, legendary, the iconic Mr. Bill Apter. Alright guys and gals, SmackDown got off to a weird and wacky start. Unfortunately, James Ellsworth, the man with two fists, had a really bad cold. Apparently a massive, tis the season, ladies and gentlemen. Tis the season to not only, spread the love and cheer, but also to make sure you use plenty of Purell. Unfortunately, James Ellsworth coming down with a massive cold. Therefore, once again, his scheduled match with AJ Styles for the WWE World Championship was unfortunately postponed. In the meantime, Shane and Dana Bryan said that we'll find an alternate to find out who will be the new #1 contender before the end of the evening. Chaos reigned as Miz TV started off with WWE Champion AJ Styles, and the two seemed to be on almost the exact same page, kind of almost buddy-buddy, if you will. But that didn't really last long, as Miz said, well, AJ, you've beaten Dean Ambrose, you've beaten John Cena, but you haven't beaten me, and basically making his own claims that maybe he should be the next one to challenge AJ for that WWE World Championship. Of course, this brings out one very aggravated lunatic fringe Dean Ambrose, followed by a Dolph Ziggler who proceeded to have a massive brawl with everyone. Just as Dean Ambrose lays out both Dolph Ziggler and The Miz, Luke Harper, of all people, shows up in the middle of the ring and takes out everybody. So bizarre. AJ getting upset and worried that he might need some security. Instead, Daniel Bryan makes a blockbuster announcement that the main event would be a fatal four-way, where the winner would be facing AJ Styles for that same WWE World Championship on the December 27th edition of SmackDown Live, which is, of course, the last one for 2016. And of course, it would feature Luke Harper, Intercontinental Champion Miz, Dolph Ziggler, and Dean Ambrose in the main event. I gotta say, guys, that's a kooky, crazy, wild one, to say the least. But we're gonna get into that in a second. The first official matchup of the evening saw Carmella go one-on-one against Natalya as a further continuation of the whole idea that maybe Natalya was the one that actually attacked Nikki Bella at Survivor Series. Unfortunately, Carmella getting a quick roll-up victory here. Very basic A to B match. Nothing huge, nothing fantastic, but still a very solid opener for SmackDown and for WWE. But, of course, Natalya consistently and constantly making sure to let Nikki Bella, who was at ringside during commentary during ringside this entire matchup, to make sure that she know it was not her. You know what? I'm starting to suspect maybe it wasn't maybe it wasn't Natalya, but maybe it wasn't even Carmella. What if it was Two Paws, Natalya's cat? Jealous of, that could be it. That could be the Oh, what do you mean cats can't attack? We've seen cats attack before. Have you not seen YouTube? We're talking about it right now. I'm getting off topic. Anyway, Natalya is swearing up and down that once again she did not attack Nikki Bella. We'll see how things go, and we'll see how things play out in that one. Now, we did see John Cena try his host out as a Saturday Night Live host this past Saturday night, and the only reason I'm bringing it up is not only because I watched it and thought it was somewhat entertaining, they also announced that 2 weeks from now, which I believe is also, once again, the December 27th edition of SmackDown Live, that we would see the return of John Cena, the man, the myth, the legend, will be back on SmackDown in Chicago. I believe that's going to be the same time that we will see that WWE Championship match between the winner of the Fatal 4-Way and AJ Styles. So 2 weeks from this, 2 weeks from today is going to be a very interesting SmackDown, to say the least. Speaking of intriguing, number one contendership tag team battle royal. Haven't seen one of these in quite some time. Essentially, all tag teams from the entire, basically the entire tag team division in SmackDown Live pitted in one battle royal. The only way for a tag team to be eliminated is for both men to be thrown over the top rope and both feet touch the floor. Winners would face the Wyatt family for the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships at an undisclosed time in the future. Now, interestingly enough, and I forgot to mention this in the last week edition, was that I thought maybe we would see the end of Heath Slater and Rhino, but we did see them one final time in this Battle Royal. And the other thing that was very interesting about this entire Battle Royal was, of course, the rule that, well, both men needed to be eliminated. Not just one, both members. And we really didn't see a whole lot of camaraderie between the tag teams. In fact, the last three participants in the Battle Royal itself was Tyler Breeze from Breezango, was Zack Ryder from the Hype Bros, and then Connor from the Ascension. Very bizarre, very odd, but Zack Ryder ultimately triumphantly coming and overcoming all odds, and the Hype Bros are now the new number one contenders for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. I kind of saw this one a little bit on the wall, as we did see the Hype Bros getting a win over Ascension last week, and we did see their declarations made very clear that the Hype Bros definitely want those SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships. When we're going to see that title opportunity, who knows, but I'm very interested to see what's going to go down with that one. Although my money, unfortunately, is probably going to see the Wyatts keep the belts. But hey, never say never. I'm just very curious to see when American Alpha will finally rise to the occasion, rise to the cream of the crop, and see when they become the number one contenders. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. When do you think American Alpha should get an opportunity at the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships? Of course, we did see Becky Lynch versus Alexa Bliss, but this matchup was contested pretty quickly and pretty thoroughly. This one was won by Becky Lynch via countout, as Alexa Bliss was not able to get into the ring in time. Nothing really major here to say this one, although I do see a continuation between Alexa Bliss and Becky Lynch going into the future. Like I was mentioning before, last week's on the last week's Smackdown ReBound, this is definitely not the end of the rivalry between Becky Lynch and Alexa Bliss for the SmackDown Women's Championship. I definitely see, maybe even see it at the Royal Rumble. Who knows? But we'll see how that thing goes. Fatal 4-Way elimination match. I forgot to mention that part. Elimination match for the number one contendership for the SmackDown, for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship on the SmackDown Live December 27th edition. This matchup was just absolutely insane. I'm just taking over here my notes here. It was, again, Dean Ambrose, Miz, Harper, and Dolph Ziggler. Miz was the first one eliminated by Dean Ambrose, and of course, Harper was eliminated by both a super kick and a dirty deeds. I'm glad it took both those moves to eliminate Luke Harper, because once again, it shows a powerhouse of Luke Harper in this matchup. And I'm actually kind of somewhat glad that Harper was involved in this one. A lot of people were kind of like, scratching their heads on Twitter a little bit, which I understand. Adding Harper into the mix is kind of random in some ways, but ultimately I was kind of okay with it. I was kind of fine with it because it adds a different element, different uniqueness to the entire thing, and something that Harper could do separate from the Wyatt family in that regards. However, of course, the finish was when Miz re-emerges and ends up costing Dean Ambrose the match, allowing Ziggler to get the win. And that's right, folks, ladies and gentlemen, Dolph Ziggler is your new number one contender for the WWE World Championship once again. December 27th, SmackDown Live, we will see these two go at it for the championship. There were kind of rumblings about seeing possibly Dean and Miz facing off against each other for the Intercontinental Championship, and though we saw it last week on SmackDown Live with some interference from James Ellsworth, I definitely see it locked, stocked, and barreled and loaded for this one, and I'm very interested to see how AJ and Dolph are going to do on the December 27th edition of SmackDown Live. I can't wait for it. I think it's going to be pumped. I think it's going to be awesome. It's going to be very intriguing. I did mention, as far as overall this entire SmackDown, that I was pretty entertained by it. I'm very curious curious where things are going to go because I feel like the SmackDown roster is in the midst of transition. We're heading into the Royal Rumble. We're heading into the biggest, one of the biggest pay-per-views of the year, and we're heading into WrestleMania season. So all the stops will be pulled out, especially for the blue brand. Now that being said, the question really bigger one is where's AJ going to go as far as his championship opportunity? We know that Dolph Ziggler is getting the opportunity on the December 27th edition of SmackDown, but I'm thinking into the future. We know James Ellsworth is going to get a championship shot. It's not going to be at WrestleMania, folks. It ain't happening at the grandest stage of them all, but I want to know what's going to happen at the Royal Rumble. Miz obviously has his sights set on the Lunatic Fringe Dean Ambrose, and we've got the tag team division and women's division lined up. Things are looking intriguing for the blue brand, but I'm really curious to hear what you guys have to say. What did you guys think of this week's SmackDown Live? Did you guys enjoy it? What was your favorite moment? Personally, I thought the Fatal 4-Way was absolutely phenomenal, for lack of a better word, and just blew everything away. I want to know what you guys have to say and what you guys thought of this entire show as well, though, too. I'm really curious where things are going to go. That December 27th edition, John Cena returning championship opportunity. It's going to be crazy. Thank you guys again for tuning into this week's edition of the SmackDown ReBound. Make sure you guys haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share this video to the world, and also make sure you check out all the social media, including yours truly, Connor, at OKayFabe RWP, at One Wrestling, at After One Wrestling, Big Ray, Big Slam Nation. You guys know the whole deal right now. Thank you guys again for watching another awesome edition of the SmackDown ReBound, and to quote the legendary, iconic Mr. Bill Apter, we will see you at the matches.